This is a book movie tie-in book haul. I just wanted to go through some of the books in my collection, which have a link to the cinema. And we're going to start with Brian Aldiss's Frankenstein Unbound. This was the book that inspired me to go and read Frankenstein, the original. And I should really review that, and I should review this. And I didn't realize there's actually a film made of this book, which I've just looked up on Rotten Tomatoes, and it gets absolutely blasted. Nonetheless, I should go and watch it because I do like this book.
Some negligible atmospheric vibration, huh?
Barely measurable.
Will they fund the next step?
Time out, Doc. In the 3 months since you've been testing this thing, we've had freak weather, people disappearing, and these time slips. I'm sorry, but we have a very public crisis brewing here.
This book is not perfect, but of all of his rewritings, I was going to say the best. It's actually the second best. My favorite Brian Aldiss's rewriting of classics is The Other Island of Dr. Moreau, which I think is good. And also Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells is also very good. So this is the first of my film book connections. The next is, you know this one. Hey, this is, of course, an utter classic. I read the book before I realized it was actually connected to movies, TV serial, video games, comic books, God knows what else. This thing has spawned an entire industry. Pierre Boulle, he called it like a social comedy. I don't think he considered it science fiction at all. He's not a science fiction writer. He wrote The Bridge Over the River Kwai, which is that story of that terrible event during the Second World War where the Japanese forced a whole bunch of prisoners to build a railway and then a bridge over the River Kwai, during which many people died. That was the book he considered his most important, and a film was made of that, by the way, as well. A very good one.
You read English, I take it.
Do you read Japanese?
Oh, sorry, no, but if it's a matter of precise translation, I'm sure that can be arranged. You see, the code specifically states that
But this he considered a bit of a throwaway. You can see from its size, it's about maybe 45,000 words long. It's barely a novel, but it's very well written. It's a bit kind of in the olden style. It's more H.G. Wells than anything more modern. It's a brilliant book. Thoroughly recommended. You can see in this one actually has some images from the original movie. If you haven't read the original, absolutely must. Next one, I just found this recently in a shop. Outland. It's a movie I wanted to love, so much so that I bought it sight unsound. I thought, I'm going to love this. Sean Connery, set out on a mining base. Where was it? Somewhere, can't remember, in the solar system. And I watched it, and I was a bit like.
Sagan, can you hear me? I'm going to explain this to you very carefully. I'm going to release the hydraulic pressure on the door locks that will open this door. You cannot keep the door closed. You can't stay in. Why don't you just come out and make it easy? Second that door opens, I'm going to kill!
What's all the fuss about? And yet, I'm not going to give up. I'm now going to read Alan Dean Foster's adaptation of this book. Now, Alan Dean Foster also wrote an adaptation of the first Alien movie, which I also bought. And then I read a chapter of it, and I was like, no, you can't adapt that movie. Since then, I believe I've listened to that book as an audiobook, and a bunch of others. And the problem really with them is, at least the way they're written, they're not really very scary. It's more, I listen to them as comfort reading. It's like kind of nostalgia. I'm never scared at any point. It's kind of like, oh, the alien's coming. Oh, that's great, isn't it? So yeah, we'll see whether Alan Dean Foster does a better job with this, because he doesn't have to make it frightening. It just has to be, it's a bit more kind of, drama between different groups of people and what's happening on the mining station. Next one is I don't know if you know this series, Survivors. This is, I would say, one of the best dystopian or no post-apocalyptic dystopian, they go hand in hand mostly, TV series there is.
We're talking more than 90% of the world's population.
That way of life is gone now. Mobile phones, computers, the electricity that powers them, all gone for good.
Everything we ever knew has been ripped away from us. Our old life is dead. Now we have to build a new one.
And I believe the TV series is actually based on this book. I think so. Terry Nation was a scriptwriter, I believe, written scripts for a bunch of things. I think he wrote this book prior to the Survivors TV series. It's really, really, really good. And you can buy it. We bought it somewhere. I don't know. You probably just find it on the internet now. But it ends like at the end of series 2. It just ends. So you're kind of building up to this big climax. We're going to learn where this strange disease came from. Was it natural or was it not? And we're just about to find out. And then they just stopped. They stopped making it. The BBC didn't make it anymore. It's one of the most tragic, truncated series ever. Anyway, I'm going to read this and find out whether this ever gets to the end of the story or not. Next up, speaking of Alien, I think I mentioned this one before. Alien 3. This is the book based on the script that William Gibson wrote for Alien 3. He was approached by whoever it is, producer, director for that movie, to generate a script, and he did. And I've actually got the script on Audible and I've listened to it. And this is the book based on the script. I must say, I bought this book before I listened to the script. If I had listened to the script first, I might not have bought this book, because the script, to be honest, isn't that good. It's a full cast script, full cast audio book. It's about 2 hours long, the length of the movie. And it just doesn't really work. But that's probably because the Alien movies are very visual. Very, very visual. And so the question will be can Pat Cadigan, who has adapted the script, make this into a good book, or is it going to be another nostalgia comfort read for me? We will see. Next up, I think I've mentioned this one before, I came across this in one of those little mini book boxes, book libraries that people put in front of their houses, where they just put books out for you to take for free. But I think the idea is you put one back. I was having to walk my dog somewhere where we don't normally walk our dog, and I was just looking around listless, and I was a bit like, don't feel so good, I'm a bit grumpy. And I looked in there and I've found this, and I've been wanting to get my hands on this for ages. This is the movie with Tom Cruise in, which is something repeat. I can't remember now. Oh.
What day is it?
For you, Judgment Day.
30 seconds to drop! Drop!
How do I turn the safety off of my weapon?
Come find me when you wake up.
What?
It's a brilliant movie it's a kind of Groundhog Day, a time loop where you go round and round and round, and each time you do an iteration because you know a bit more about your loop in exactly the same way as Groundhog Day. I think it's been done many times.
Then put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain.
The only problem I had for that movie, and I really should review the movie, is that the time loop is, it's nonsense. It's silly. It's fantasy. There's no logical basis for it. And that is where, okay, I'm going to stop now. And this is advert interlude. I have a time loop in the very first story called Needle and Groove. Now, I challenge you to read that story and pick a hole in the logic of the physics I use to get a time loop. Plus, it's a really great story about meeting yourself. Now you're groaning, meeting yourself has been done 1 billion times. Read this one and tell me what you think. Or not, whatever. So the next book is Raise the Red Lantern. We watched this. I think we got this movie for free when we bought another movie. I think what happened was we bought Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It's a kind of medieval fantasy movie. It's brilliant, brilliant fighting choreography in it. And a wonderful female character, very strong female character, and a brilliant love interest. It's a fantastic movie. And I think we got Raise the Red Lantern for free, just in the box. And you bought one and you got the other for free. And so we watched it now we've got it for free. Raise the Red Lantern it's a very, very, very good movie. Might even be better than Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I didn't even know there was a book that it was based on. And so when I was in the store looking for a book, because my daughter bought me a Barnes & Noble book token, I was like, I literally went over the entire store, top to bottom, looking for a book. And I saw this. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I love that movie. And so I'm going to read the book and see if it is anywhere near as good as the movie. Because the movie, if you haven't seen the movie, and you like, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like drama, horror. It's a brilliant movie. Anyway, I'm going to read that book and we'll find out. And then next one, I mentioned this one before as well. I'm really just recycling stuff. I bought this because of the movie with David Bowie in it, which I haven't watched. I generally like to read a book first and then watch the movie, because often the movie will disappoint. The curious thing about this book is it actually misses. It misses that. So it ends here, 1990, Icarus drowning, and then there's nothing. They printed the book without the last chapter in. I need to review the book, and I also going to need to watch the movie. I kind of started watching it, and I didn't really like the beginning. It was all a bit too artsy-fartsy.
This is some kind of space vehicle, right? Well, what for? The solar probe?
I want you to think beyond that. I want to show you this because I value your contribution to my work.
Well, I'm not certain what that's to be.
Fuel conservation, Dr. Bryce. May be the key to our project. Ask me.
What?
The question you've been wanting to ask ever since we met.
Are you Lithuanian?
I come from England.
Oh, that's not so terrible.
But I have to hold my nose and get all the way through it, and also review this book now that I've found the final PDF of the final chapter somewhere and read it. Walter Travis has a very interesting writing style, and his subject, the alien, pictured on the front cover, you can see he's the alien, is a very interesting character. So it's a good book, but quite different than I was expecting. But I did enjoy it. Okay, The Futurological Congress by Stanislaw Lem. I love Lem. Lem is a genius. He's often too bright for his own good. And so some of his books are so intellectually kind of heavy and challenging that they're kind of a bit of a problem to get through. This is one of his, it's very quite thin, quite quick, one of his kind of lighter, more comical books. It's kind of a bit like Inception. And maybe the guys who made Inception read this, because you're never quite sure where reality is. It's like you think reality is here, and then they peel down to a place that isn't reality, or they go up to a place that isn't reality, and then they go back down. But did they go back down to reality or not? Or did they And so you get lost in what's reality and what isn't. And they made it. I didn't know. I read the book and I've reviewed it on my website. Please go to my website and read the review. There's lots of good stuff on my website. Okay, you don't want to hear about my website. Anyway, they made a movie called The Congress, and I bought it and watched it. And it's a very interesting attempt to try and get under the bonnet of this novel. They didn't take the obvious literal route to portraying it. They took a kind of quite an interesting alternative way to get at the themes that Lem tackles in this book of reality and how we perceive it.
Abrahama City is a restricted animated zone. You were impure.
But this book is very good. It's very short. It's a good read. The beginning's a bit, at the beginning, you're a bit like, okay, what's happening? And then it kind of, about a third of the way in, quarter of the way in, he really pulls the twist on you. And then you're like, oh, you're in this new place. And then he just goes bonkers. And it's good. If you like your science fiction to be a bit, kind of cerebral, then he's your man. Okay, last and not least, it's kind of not science fiction, not at all. This is straight fiction. This is a guy I absolutely love. I will say that. Paul Theroux. I've read a lot of his books, and I was a big fan of his in his heyday when he was writing like My Secret History and Mosquito Coast and that era, and also his brilliant travel books. The Railway Bazaar, I think, was his first one. Again, it's, if you like travel writing with teeth, he's your man. Anyway, he wrote this novel, I believe, before he became famous as a travel writer, before he wrote The Railway Bazaar. This is when he was a teacher in Singapore. I think this is set in Singapore. Yeah, it is. He was an English teacher there. And this is the book that describes his experiences there. And you can kind of see on the front, this guy is a kind of pimp, and these are his women of the night. And he kind of pimps for, the well-to-do in Singapore. And he pulls a Chris Priest in this novel, is that you're going along and you have one view of the world, and about halfway through, he does a Chris Priest twist on you. And honestly, it gave me a quite a shock. And then suddenly, whop, Theroux, he spins it, and it's really well done. And he tried to do it in his next book, which is a kind of horror book. I can't remember what it was called, The Black Farm, The Black Dog, something or other. His next one, which is set in England and a kind of farm. And he doesn't pull it off. And it doesn't work well at all. But here he does. He does a real Chris Priest in this one. And they made a movie of it with that funny little actor. Actually, the book that I read had a picture of the actor on the front. I think it's called St. Jack, the movie. I haven't watched the movie. I would like to watch it to see how they deal with the narrative twist that Theroux pulls off, and whether they could do that in a movie. So that's something that I've got to do too.
A cold finger beckons you to enter his web of sin, but don't go in. Golden words he will pour in your ear, but his lies can't disguise what you feel. For a golden girl
that is my video for today. Thanks for watching. Bye. This is Editor Guy with a footnote about the Survivors book by Terry Nation. It appears it was actually based on the 1970s TV series The Survivors, and the 2008 version of the TV series, the remake, was indeed based on Terry Nation's book.